What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Spurs have lost by 2-1 here at home to Leicester, and I'm saying this club is a fucking disgrace. We're sitting here 26th of January. We're losing game by game by game. We've won 2 games in the Premier League since the start of, November? When we beat Manchester City, and before that we lost to Ipswich. And we've got no signings through the door. The team are out on their feet. We can't cobble any sort of performance together. And now we're losing to teams that are in it with us in terms of the relegation fight. I said that if we lose today, then we really need to start worrying, because the relegation fight is definitely, we're in it. Yeah. We're in a dogfight right now. We're losing to Leicester at home, right? Leicester at home.
Oh, Everton.
Everyone were tonking Leicester week in, week out. We've lost to Everton last week. Now they're 1 point behind us with the game in hand. Yes, it is against Liverpool, but I'm sorry, but these performances are getting worse and worse, more embarrassing by the day, and we're getting sucked deeper and deeper down.
Yeah,
like, what is going on?
It's getting worse. I don't even know what to say anymore with it. It's like, I haven't really been following it as much this season, but I came today because I genuinely, do you know what, Ben? I genuinely thought we can't lose to Leicester. Like, we cannot lose to Leicester. They have been one of the worst teams in the league, and yet we'll go and lose to Leicester. And I said to you at half time, I said the way that we're playing, if Leicester get a bit of energy in them, they're gonna score some goals, and they fucking did straight away. Vardy, we said Vardy was going to score as well. Tactically today, again, was a joke. And I was saying earlier before the game that with Ange, it's like he's got it in him, but he just doesn't do it. He's too too bloody stubborn, right? And he doesn't do it enough. And today, I just saw defenders all over the place, midfielders all over the place, people going into each other, misplacing passing all the time, no one making runs when we've got in possession with the ball. It was just a joke. It was so bad. And then Richarlison, I know he was injured, but he's the only striker we've got, and he takes him off, and we put Son up front, and they're still trying to cross balls into the box when you've got a player like Son, who is just the most worst player we've got in the air. And they're still trying to play it in the air. It was just all round a terrible.
It's just embarrassing.
I've never seen. I think that's probably the worst game all season, to be honest.
It's just embarrassing, and to be where we are, 6 years after moving into this stadium, right? Stadium. Look at this stadium, and we're in a relegation fight. When you see teams like Man City, even Aston Villa to a certain extent, putting their money where their mouth is and going signing players when they need the help. But look at us, we're twiddling our thumbs, and we're not getting no one in through the door, and the team are out on their feet. We need players through. And all week I was saying, right, I'm really worried about the fatigue going into this game. We made 2 changes, one the goalkeeper and one Pape Matar coming in, right? And I said we're going to have an initial burst, and we'll probably concede in the second half. And we scored. We went 1-0 up with Richarlison. Really good goal, by the way. Great pass by Porro, which was probably the only good cross that he put in all day long.
That was, yeah. The rest of them are awful. Great
header from Richarlison, and then within 5 minutes of the start of the second half, we're losing by 2-1, and it's just like we did control the possession a bit after that, like from there until the end of the game, but we just could not create any meaningful chance on goal.
No, it was so bad today. I think that's the worst performance I've seen all season. There was no fight, no nothing. No, it's like I think some of the players look so dead. Kulusevski looks like he's been run into the ground. Porro as well, I think to an extent looks the same. There's a few of them, but and the thing is, we're playing youngsters, and you looked at the bench today, and we were saying like, it's a bench full of youngsters, and we can't. You're supposed to be a club who's the 8th richest or 7th richest in the world, and you've got a bench full of youngsters because you don't have the depth in your squad, because the owners don't want to put their money into their pockets to get quality into this team. But what I've said to you before, it just feels like it's like the ownership are trying to lower the standards of the fans, because in their perspective, from my perspective, it's like, why would they change anything if they're making the same amount of money every year? The league positioning where they finish, unless they're in the Champions League, it's not going to make much of a difference to them. But I mean, of course, I don't want to get relegated, but if they finish, say, I don't know, if they finish like 14th in the league, they're still going to get the money from season tickets, TV, everything else. So it's just, do they really need to really invest in getting quality players, because all we see is them buying a lot of youngsters. They bought Solanke, but £65 million for one striker. We need like 2 or 3 strikers.
Yeah.
I mean,
you look at it as well. 2-1 lost it to Leicester today, right? And the bar is absolutely packed in that stadium still.
Yeah.
People are lapping it up. It's absolutely packed, and probably the loudest Levy out chants I've ever heard as well during a game at this stadium. So credit to the fans for making their voice heard today. But it's just like,
do you know what it is for me? I don't even care what happens to the manager. Like, I know a lot of people have been saying they want Ange out, and I get it.
Can he survive this? Can he survive this? Can he survive losing to Leicester at home?
Maybe because he's a yes man, right?
You look at all the teams, right, that are in it for relegation. We just lost to Everton last week. We've lost to Leicester today. A few weeks ago, we were drawing to Wolves here.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? It's like everyone in and around us in terms of this relegation dogfight. We can't beat.
True, it's true. The only thing we're gonna say is again the injuries. We've got 15 injuries out of a 25-man squad.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't blame that every game.
We can't. But it is a big factor that we have got a lot of injuries, and we're having to use the same players over and over and over again in every competition. We're still in all 4 competitions, and we're using the same players. We've got players who should have been included into the squad, into the Europa League squad, and they couldn't play into it because they weren't registered. So we're just having to use like Archie Gray at right back, left back, and it's an absolute mess. We've got Reguilon come back in, and he shouldn't even be in the team.
A way to get results though. 2 wins since the beginning of November.
Yeah, it is bad. It's terrible.
4 losses. I mean, 6 losses in our last 7 games,
it's
and
terrible.
1 draw against Wolves.
Do you know what? It's like today. What I saw as well is like a team of. It was like individuals. It was like a team. It wasn't a team. A team cohesion in their football. Like it was like everyone trying to just do basic stuff and still even failing at the basics. Yeah. And there was no. Yeah. It was just. It was all over the place. It was just.
And all I hear is Ben, stop being negative. Ben, Tottenham are never going to be embroiled in a relegation battle. Well, we can't beat anyone around us. We're dropping deeper and deeper. The teams below us getting closer and closer. So, I mean, where is this form going to turn? If we can't beat the Leicesters, we can't beat the Wolves, we can't beat the Evertons, where is this form going to turn? Please tell me.
But people think it's going to turn when we go and play like the Liverpools or Aston Villas or the teams above in the top
We got
10.
Brentford away next.
Yeah,
we're getting anything out of that game?
Yeah, no way we're going to win that game. So I can't see where it's going to come from. The only thing I'd hope is players coming back, but we've still got we've got a striker out for until March now, and we haven't really got a striker apart from Charleston. But let's be honest, he's been more injured than he has been available, and on top of that, he's actually an awful player. I mean,
guess that's why they're trying to manage his minutes. And look, I understood why they took him off.
I get it too.
They took him off, but
they need him.
We needed him. We needed him that second half.
But we did need him in the second half. But again, if they kept him on, then we might have had him again off for another 2 or 3 months, and then we were stuck with no striker.
Yeah.
At least it's better than nothing. But yeah, I don't know where we go from it, to be honest.
Is Ange going to survive this? Do you think Ange is going to be in charge our next game?
I'm 50-50 on it. Like I genuinely don't know. There's part of me thinks that Levy and the board want to keep him because they're going to bring in Mason in this manic time when they've got 15 injuries.
I mean, they did it when we had a cup final round.
Yeah, true. It's possible, but it all depends on what. If Ange is on board with what the club wants and they're all in cohesion with their kind of ideas and vision for what they want, then and he's obviously saying yes to whatever they want, then why are they going to sack someone that basically is their yes man, right?
So we're creeping closer and closer to relegation.
True, but is Mason really going to change that? Yeah. Is he really going to change it? I mean, how many times did we see? I don't know. So many of us said we don't want to see Mason come back into this club again. I sure didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if he sacks him either.
We're in between a rock and a hard place, right? Because can you keep a manager on this kind of form, creeping closer to the relegation zone, but then on the flip side of that, there's not really much options that we can see that can make it better. No. So I mean, which way do we go? Which way do we want to go? I don't even know anymore.
I don't know either. I think this is, I don't know. I mean, we always know what we know what the biggest problem here is, and the thing is that it's not going to change because they don't want to change anything, and until the club have a direction of being ambitious as a football club on the pitch, then it doesn't, for me, that's why it doesn't really matter anymore. I'm still leaving it out, but I'm not really involved in that way, in that capacity as much anymore, because the energy's gone. Like, for me, it's just, nothing's ever going to change. And the problem is, I know it's a lot of the young fan base, they don't know kind of what it was like before with Levy and how he has been, and they just come out for the day and all this kind of stuff. And I think unless more fans can see what's going on in front of them, then nothing's going to change, because what they really need is like they need like thousands and thousands in the masses to be on board with this, but it's not, because there's a lot of people who just don't really care anymore. And I mean, I'm even getting to that point where I don't even care anymore, so I can't even talk about it. But I don't know, man. It's just
the state of our beloved football club, Tottenham Hotspur.
I didn't even know it. Maybe 25 years or 24 years.
24 years, yeah.
It's the longest standing board, isn't it, in the Premier League? Yeah. So and what have we won in that time?
2 League Cups.
Nothing. Yeah, terrible. So I don't know. I don't know where we go from here.
Really, really depressing. Just coming to watch Spurs, and you're talking about losing the fight and losing belief and not caring anymore. I mean, that stadium was dead today. Like, you could hear a pin drop for the majority of the ground. Apart from when they were leaving out trials, you could pretty much hear a pin drop. That's what it was. The atmosphere is completely dead in this stadium. Yeah. Everyone's lost belief. Everyone's lost hope. So maybe just because of that lost hope and lost belief, maybe a change does need to happen, just to something new.
Maybe. Look, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if they sacked him, because we've seen it so many times over the last 15 years, right? But
this is worse than ever.
It is worse.
This is worse than ever.
Isn't this the worst since like 1998? I think, in terms of the amount of times we've lost.
Yeah,
I mean,
it might even be worse.
It might even be more now, because we've lost another 2. We drew with Wolves, and we've lost this game again. It's just. It's embarrassing. It is so bad.
Don't get it twisted, people. The reality is we're in a dogfight right now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing anyone can say other. 7 points above the drop at this stage of the season, and I can't see where the next win is coming from. We lost against a Leicester team that have been getting battered week in, week out. Everyone came into this game, no, we can't lose to them. We can't lose to them. They're Leicester City, They're the worst team in the league right now. Ruud van Nistelrooy can't buy a win. Well, he's come to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. He's taken 3 points, just like Kieran McKenna did for his first win of the season, and just like we did against Crystal Palace for their first win of the season. Dr. Tottenham at your service once again.
Always.
But
yeah.
We'll see you later, guys. Like, subscribe, and comment, and as always,